CCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Well, there's Jack Benedict back where he belongs.
I don't know. I just follow your rules. You say, hey, can you come in? Yeah, okay, I'm here. What are we going to talk about?
Well, we've got a lot to talk about this morning. We're going to do it. Our visit presented by Marcus & Mack, voted best law firm, best personal injury lawyer, 4 years in a row, and the best of Indiana County contests. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. I want to talk about Curt Cignetti. I want to talk about the big weekend for the IUP basketball teams. This Gannon thing is
it's a big weekend.
Huge.
Big weekend all around. Yeah, starting with basketball tomorrow and then the National Championship Game on Monday.
Yeah.
So you start and I'll fill in the blanks, I guess. I don't know.
You'll join the dance. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Cignetti name. You know, when you think about it, the McConnell name, the Cignetti name, those are legendary family legacies here in Western PA. Both of them have connections to IUP, of course. But here we come, a national championship game in college football, and Curt Cignetti is going to be coaching the Indiana Hoosiers. And of course, you remember him here at IUP and all of the time that you spent with him and with his dad. Frank Jr., of course, is back at IUP right now.
Right.
And the three of them, that's three different personalities, isn't it?
All three have their own individual personalities, yes.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with that.
No.
But yes, Curt, it's just amazing. It's the biggest story in college football and in the sports world, It's unbelievable. 26-2 in the 2 years. And he's just gone. When he left IUP, he was here 2011 through 2016. Somebody said the other day, gee, I thought it was 2 years. No, he was here 6 years.
Yeah.
Anyway, went to Elon. And it's like, Elon, okay. So he was there for 2 years, and he went to JMU. Everybody knows the story and everything he's done. It's incredible. He's a different personality when you see. He wasn't as quotable when he was here, the way he is now. I mean, you just wait for him to what's coming up next. And the interview that he did after the last win, sounds like maybe a good movie. It might be.
The interesting thing to me is watching how the national media decides on a theme for these guys. And in Curt's case, they decided the theme for him would be he's a really stern guy. You can't make him smile. And he's all business all the time.
Well, that's a pretty good thing, yes. Yeah. I mean, from that standpoint, he is a good guy. I've had a couple of my friends back in my home area in Westmoreland County that have contacted me and said, Curt, he doesn't seem like he's a good guy, is he? But he is. He is driven, and he has said since third grade he knew what he wanted to do. What did you want to do when you were in third grade? I had no idea.
I wanted to be Roy Rogers.
Oh, Roy Rogers. Well, other than baseball, I was looking at young ladies probably when I was
in third grade.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Right Jack Benedict.
That's so long ago. But, Curt's story is really amazing. I didn't really know Curt. I've certainly, worked with Big Guy for all those years. When he came to Indiana in the early 80s as the athletic director. And with Junior, of course, I broadcast his games when he was at Indiana High, then at IUP, and then he was a coach at IUP. And so, lo and behold, he's back, which is good. Out there searching for, got a quarterback coming in, but he's a high school kid. We'll see what happens.
You don't want to break any news right here, do you?
Yeah, he's was the quarterback at Elizabeth Forward. His name's Ryan Messina. He's 6'4", about 220, and was all conference in 3A and so on. So, I mean, there's still today's the last day, by the way, for the portal. So with Curt, the only thing, I was aware of him. I remember him getting the national coach of the year for an assistant, recruiting-wise, when he was with Saban. But I only talked with him, I think, maybe one time, and I was broadcasting one of our playoff games in Mississippi or Alabama or somewhere, and he was at the game. And I talked with him on the air and so on. He knew who I was from the standpoint I'd been, broadcasting his dad's games for a few years. So I didn't really know him. So, when he ended up here, it was all a surprise. And he never told his dad
Oh, no?
No, he told him after he got the job.
Did you ever, in any of your conversations with Big Guy, did you ever talk to him about the boys?
Not a whole lot.
No?
No. I got a call a couple of weeks ago from Mrs. Cignetti from Marlene, and she wanted to alert me about a player who was a All-American running back at West Virginia in the 70s, Garrett Ford, who I was aware of, and he had passed away. He'd been an administrator, but he was on Frank's staff as an assistant in 1977, and so we talked about that a little bit. But no, I really didn't. I mean, even after Frank retired and he would hang around and, you know, I'd pick his brain a little bit about this and that sort of thing, but we never really got into, you know, those situations.
A big part of the story as well has been the fact that his two coordinators, offensive and defensive, they were with him here at IUP as well.
Correct.
And Mike Shanahan actually played here.
Yes, Mike Shanahan, dad, was a really good basketball player in the late 70s, in the early 80s, and he transferred from St. Francis. His dad was like 6'4". Of course, Mike's a little bit taller than that. And he was, you know, Mike Shanahan's dad was on a team that I consider, that's just my opinion, probably the best IUP basketball team that didn't go anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Because we lost our first playoff game. But you had 4 Hall of Famers on that, plus Mike Shanahan, you know, and so on. So that's the tie. And then Haynes, you know, the brothers, and Bryant is the DC down there, and his brother is an offensive coach elsewhere. Yeah, those guys are there. And then I just found out the other day, I think he's the defensive coordinator at Miami, was with Curt at JMU.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, I mean,
in fact, Curt was talking about that in the news conference the other day about it. He says, I know what I'm getting into with this guy, but he said he does things different now than he did with me.
Yeah,
just as I do things a little different.
And then,
as
of
well.
course, you know, Dan Radakovich.
Yeah.
In the Hall of Fame. He was in the Hall of Fame here in 2021. And that's the year he was the Clemson AD at the time, so he must have taken the Miami job that fall. Then.
Yeah,
So he's the AD there.
Bad Rad.
Yeah.
Bad Rad. Oh,
That's
some amazing things that have happened, and we're not in the spotlight here in Indiana, PA, but we're certainly watching the spotlight.
well, we're getting a lot of coverage. IUP is, and then of course you have Nick Sirianni, who bowed out with his Eagles team. He was here for several years as an assistant. Of course, IUP's had so many coaches that have been. There are so many out there that are still connected with NFL teams. Yeah. But Curt's story is just unbelievable. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
You know, I think he could run for governor of the state and make it.
Nobody has done in college football history what Curt Cignetti has done. And, you know, people talk about the fact that the way the college game has changed the actual administration of it, that's what's enabled him to do it. But, well, he's the guy who's done it. And, you know, he's right there at the top of it. So that is one of the big stories coming up. But then there's another big story that I want to talk with you about, and that is a couple of really good IUP basketball teams. Came up with the wins over Slippery Rock. Of course, they swept UPJ last week as well.
Right.
But this PSAC West is crazy. And
It's tough.
You've got undefeated IUP women against undefeated Gannon tomorrow, and then the IUP men against Gannon, and both of those teams have only one loss in PSAC.
I even brought my notes so that I didn't.
On a 3x5 card.
Oh yeah. This is what. Yeah, I've even been doing this with the coaches now in some cases, so that my feeble mind doesn't forget things. You have 4 teams, the 2 on each side, that are all first place teams, and it's incredible. You know, it'll be tomorrow afternoon, 1 and 3 at the Hammer Mill Center, formerly the Hammer Mill, the Highmark Events Center.
Remodeled.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
But mostly but it still has that great charm to it. They moved us from the 3rd tier over there to the 2nd tier over here.
You're not in that little corner anymore?
I'm in a different corner with a better view.
Yeah, I did an IUP playoff game there one year.
It's a great boy. Well, anyway, the women. Okay, IUP's won 14 in a row. They're 14-0.
Yeah.
Gannon 16 in a row. 16 in a row. They're 17-1. They're fifth in the nation.
Yeah.
Both teams are undefeated in the West. Gannon's the number one defensive team, 48.6. That's all they give up. IUP is the number two defensive team, giving up 51.
Yeah.
So that's
This is a showdown.
It is, and
And
it's unbelievable.
there are two other teams that are right there breathing down their necks too.
Yeah, the West is
Edinburgh and Cal. They both have one loss.
Yeah, Cal is not the team that we've seen in recent years. But Seton Hill.
Yeah,
Seton Hill's.
That's the one I was.
Yeah,
thinking.
Seton
I was
Hill's
thinking
very
Seton
good.
Hill.
Yeah.
They're very
Okay, for the men. Strangely enough, we've lost 6 straight games to Gannon,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
men are 11-2. Gannon's 14-2. They lost to Lake Superior State early in the year, and then they lost to Cal at Cal. I made a prediction the other night, Tony and I, on our way to Slippery Rock, so you got to talk about all kinds of stuff. And I said, Clarion's playing, hosting Cal. And I said, Clarion plays Cal tough in football and basketball. Clarion beat them.
Yeah.
So, it's this mismatch. And Gannon is 13th in the nation.
Yeah.
And so,
Wow. What a day you're going to have tomorrow.
yeah, it's going to be something.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, when you look at the schedule in February, because we haven't played games at home on Saturdays. We're on the road all the time.
Yeah.
But the last game of the year is a Saturday night against Gannon.
Man, that is going to be something. But let's focus on what's happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
When you look at those two teams, the IUP women, the IUP men, women, I think a lot was expected of them. Maybe not this much. They beat 2 nationally ranked teams to start it out. Men, I think again a lot was expected of them, but not this much.
Probably not, but
They've done some really good things so far.
well, Dallas Dillard is not the same player. He's even better.
Yeah.
He's
Well, Bevo Francis.
yeah.
He's on the Bevo Francis list.
Yeah, he and Pace Prosser, sophomore
Yeah.
from Gannon, who finished second to Kai in the Rookie of the Year last year. He's on the list too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's going to be fun tomorrow. You're on the air at what time?
12:45.
12:45.
12:45. Yeah.
92.5 FMU 92. Well, we could do this all the time, Jack, if you want. You can come in anytime.
Well, I'm going to talk about some of these things in a little while because I have my coach's interviews coming up later this morning.
There you go.
So,
There you go.
Trying to keep up to date with all these guys. So and ladies, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. What a great time of the year. You've got the football action happening over the weekend. You've got the basketball action that is happening and will continue to build in intensity as this next month and a half, 2 months goes along. It's going to be fun, Jack. Thanks.
Keeps me out of trouble.
Does it? Really?
Thanks for the invite.
It is Indiana in the morning. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.